Let's have a look at Dundalk against Galway. Galway have been on a
recent wins against St Pat's at Shamrock Rovers had done much to reignite Dundalk's stuttering season, and they look to continue that trend against a Galway side that had conceded 9 in their previous 2 League and Cup games. Dean Bennett was the first to threaten on Friday night. When you consider a Galway side at the start of the season would have contained such names as Barry Ryan, Anto Flood, Kieran Foley, Jamie McKenzie, Bobby Ryan and Thomas Heary, Sean Connor has done well to fashion his side, with all of those either having left or unavailable, but they struggle to cope with Dundalk's vigour. Stephen Walsh to the rescue on this occasion. Daniel Kearns starred for the under-23s against Estonia midweek, and he's been a revelation since joining from West Ham. Dangers on the right, he set up Matthew Tipton, but the breakthrough proved elusive. Dara Geraghty with the save. Galway's only real chance came from a combination of errors by the home side. Kearns needlessly fouled Derek O'Brien, and with the Dundalk side standing and watching, Stephen O'Donnell took a quick free kick. Carl Shepherd with the free header, and an unsure Peter Cherry relieved that it trickled wide. The home side pressed on in search of a breakthrough. Defender Wayne Hatswell inches away from an opener, but it remained scoreless at the break. It took less than a minute after the restart for Dundalk to fashion an opener. Tom Miller's long throw and Faz Kadozovic on hand to score. That his 8th league goal of what has been at times a difficult season for all at Oriel Park. Rather than ease off, Dundalk pressed on in search of another. Sean Kelly was on as a first half substitute at left back. He missed out on a second Ireland under-23 cap in midweek, and he ventured forward. Jason Malloy tracking back, halting his progress. To Neil Doyle's liking. Replays showed Kelly may have had a case for a penalty. Dundalk's long throw-in tactic worked so well they repeated the dose, and it worked with similar effect. Kadozovic on hand to grab a second, profiting again, but Galway's defending far from up to scratch. A rare attack by Galway saw Tom King break away, supported on the right hand side by substitute Evan Preston Kelly. But when King was presented with a sight of goal, Peter Cherry was equal to his effort. With 2 minutes remaining, Kadozovic sealed the win and claimed the match ball for himself. Stephen Lennon holding it up. And Kadozovic on hand to steer the ball home, compounding a difficult night for his former boss Sean Connor. 3-0 the final score at Oriel Park. Back-to-back league defeats for Galway as they fend off relegation. Dundalk may have had their mid-season worries, but 4th spot in Europe still a realistic target.
Listen, at the end of the day, we're in the position on the table. That's where we are, under merit, and it's up to us now. We've got 4 or 5 matches left to try and get something back up.
We've reached our first target of the season. You know, I think when we came in, we were looking for progression, and you know, the club managed to get 44 points last season, and we've got 45 with 4 games to go. So we're pleased with that. But we need to kick on. There's 12 points to play for if my maths are right, and we'll try and get as many as we can.
Now, Damien, Dundalk, the Dundalk ship is sailing in much calmer waters, isn't it?
They're finishing the season the way they started the season, Con. It's just a pity about the middle of the season. But the middle of the season just reflected the lack of depth they had in the squad. And I put Ian Foster very much like Paul Cook. He makes players better, he improves his players. And if the club can invest in the manager and produce maybe 3 or 4 more players to add to that squad for next season, I think they will have a very, very competitive side.
I suppose the big question is, will the funds be made available to bring those players in?
Well, luckily enough, Dundalk are running the ship properly. But if they get a good side and they start getting a good string of results, you know the crowds will come in. It's a little investment, but it's a sensible investment as opposed to what went on over the last few years. And